What's the biggest promise your parents broke? My grandparents on my dad's side were pretty well off, not like mega rich, but comfortable. And when I was 12, they set up this college fund for me. It was actually really generous, enough to cover most of my undergrad at a decent school if I was careful. My parents made this huge deal about it. They sat me down in our living room with my grandparents there and everything. I still remember my mom holding my hand and telling me how this money was my future, my education, and they would never touch it no matter what. My dad even did this whole speech about how education was sacred and how they'd protect this money for me, even if the house was burning down around them, his exact words. My grandparents weren't super emotional people, but you could tell they were proud to do this for me. They made me promise to study hard and take school seriously, which I did. Like I maintained a 3.8 GPA throughout high school, joined clubs, did volunteer work, the whole college application package deal. The summer before senior year, my parents took this random trip. I remember being confused because we'd always done budget vacations before, like camping or driving to visit relatives. Suddenly, they were staying at an all-inclusive resort. When I asked how they could afford it, my dad got defensive and said, "We work hard. We deserve to enjoy life sometimes." My mom quickly added that they'd found an amazing deal online. Around the same time, my friend Valentina's parents started talking to her about specific college costs, showing her the statements from her 529 plan. When I mentioned this to my mom, asking if we could sit down and look at my fund too, she got this panicked look and said, "Your dad handles all that financial stuff," even though she'd always been the one who managed our family budget. Fast forward to senior year. I started getting acceptance letters, including one from my dream school. It wasn't Ivy League or anything, but it had this amazing program in my field that literally only accepted like 30 students per year. I was ecstatic when I got in. I remember running into the kitchen waving the acceptance letter, and my parents seemed happy, but weird. Like my mom hugged me but avoided eye contact, and my dad started immediately talking about other options and weighing all the schools carefully. I didn't think much of it then. About a week later, I was looking through college brochures and casually mentioned to my mom that we should probably start the process of accessing my college fund. The look on her face, I still remember it. This mix of panic and guilt that made my stomach drop instantly. She mumbled something about talking to my dad first and literally left the room. I felt this cold dread creeping in, but tried to convince myself I was overreacting. That night, they sat me down, and I knew before they said anything. My dad started with, "We need to discuss your college options," instead of, "Congratulations again on your acceptance." My mom couldn't even look at me. Turns out they had been borrowing from my college fund. Not like a little bit. The entire thing was gone. Every single penny. My grandparents had put in around 80K over the years, and there was literally $0 left. I just sat there in shock while they explained how they never meant for it to happen. It started with just a small loan for some house repairs after my dad had that car accident, which wasn't even that serious. Then they took a bit more for temporary financial issues. Then my mom wanted to help her sister Jenna with some debt. Then they decided they deserved a 20th anniversary trip to Europe. Each time they promised themselves they'd put it back with interest. Each time they didn't, and they never told my grandparents. I asked when they were planning to tell me. Turns out they weren't. They had this plan to take out parent loans when the time came and pretend everything was normal. Except their credit was trashed by then from other debts, so they couldn't even get approved for the loans. I completely lost it. Started screaming and crying, asked how they could do this to me. My dad actually had the audacity to say, "We're still your parents and you don't get to speak to us that way." Like, you stole my future and I'm supposed to be respectful about it? My mom tried to comfort me saying lots of people take out student loans and my dream school would still be there if I took a gap year to work and save. As if 1 year of minimum wage jobs would replace 80K. I called my grandparents that night. They were devastated. Not just about the money, but about the betrayal. My grandfather, who rarely showed emotion, actually cried on the phone. They offered to help, but they were retired by then and didn't have that kind of cash available anymore. The absolute worst moment came when I discovered what finally emptied the account completely. I found a receipt in my dad's office while looking for financial aid forms. 2 months before my college applications were due, they had spent the last 15K on renovating their master bathroom with heated floors and one of those rainfall showers. Heated floors. While knowing their daughter's college fund was already mostly gone.